Marcus Garvey had a tremendous impact on the world. African-American politician Adam Clayton Powell said, Marcus Garvey was one of the greatest mass leaders of all time. Nnamdi Azikiwe, former president of Nigeria, said, Garvey was one of the most far-sighted persons of African descent to walk upon God's earth. Martin Luther King Jr. said, in the history of the U.S., Garvey was the first man on a mass scale to give millions of Negroes a sense of dignity and destiny and make the Negro feel that he was somebody. Kwame Nkrumah, former president of Ghana, said, the book that did more than any other to fire my enthusiasm was Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. Jomo Kenyatta, former president of Kenya, said, in 1921, Kenyan nationalists, unable to read, would gather round a reader of Garvey's newspaper and listen to an article 2 or 3 times, then run various ways through the forest to repeat carefully what they had memorized to Africans, hungry for some doctrine which lifted them from the servile consciousness in which Africa lived. Malcolm X said it was Marcus Garvey's philosophy of Pan-Africanism that initiated the entire freedom movement, which brought about the independence of African nations. All the freedom movements in America were initiated by the work and teachings of Marcus Garvey. C.L.R. James said, he started us off. For me, Garvey was the beginning, the first man to make black people feel aware of themselves as an international force. The Jamaican-born poet Claude McKay said, Marcus Garvey's influence over Afro-America, Native Africans, and people of African descent everywhere was vast. But despite all his efforts, Garvey couldn't make the breakthrough in Jamaica. He went to England in 1935 and died there in 1940. His body was brought back to Jamaica in 1964 and reburied at National Heroes Park, where he was made a national hero. The mission of Marcus Garvey was presented by the Friends of Liberty Hall and the Ministry of Education and Culture.